Hello and welcome back to the third starter guide video for Feudums, Kalamona Studios' new 4X online strategy game set in medieval times. As you can see, we progressed our second feudum. We've captured some forests to increase wood income. We've increased the level of the town, and we've also increased our hometown to palisade level. Now we're going to explain how to generate units and move them around the map so you can explore the terrain and see if you'd like to expand and how you interact with other units. So at the moment, Blue Harbour's got no garrison, so what we're going to do is we're going to click Blue Harbour, and on the bottom right is an icon for rally troops. Click that. So we're just going to get ourselves some urban militia, scroll down, archer militia. So just under the flashcard on the right for rally troops, you've got a description of which types of squads you can have. So there are squads, which are mercenary squads, and lancers, which are levies, basically just population drafted into a stand-by army. And you can tell which is which because lancers have flags and professional squads have a coin purse. So if we were to read this out, a lance is conscripted from the population of a feudum and must answer the call as a feudal duty. So what this basically means is they're drafted into the army and they're not necessarily professional mercenaries. But while that's true, they're very cheap and they can be conscripted quickly, but they must be released shortly after a period which in this game is 80 turns. And then the next unit is squads. So they are professionally trained and carefully equipped soldiers. They're very expensive to train and maintain. As long as their wages are paid, their contracts are renewed. So what that means is you can keep them indefinitely as a standing army, but they are much more expensive. So it's going to take 4 turns to draft urban militia and archer militia, and then we can explore the map a bit more. Over here we have a unit already out and about, so we're just going to explore this fog of war area over here. So click the unit, click move company, and then select an unexplored part of the map. Keep in mind the fog of war is active, so you may have scouted somewhere 100 turns ago, but then when you come back the situation may have changed, and unless you've got direct line of sight you won't ever be 100% sure what's going on in that region of the map. These patches of ground here are currently waste grounds, so Feudums uses a system where if you want to claim territory, you can progress claims like in video 2, but there's a maximum you can take. You can't just possess the whole map. So at the minute we've got 3 spare hexes here because we're going to develop a feudum later, and we've expanded across the ocean and we've released 1 because we've only allowed 10, so we want to make sure that we've got enough to develop a feudum. So we've developed this because we want the forests here, and what we're going to do is we're going to click here and explain how you set up a feudum again, just like in the second video. So as long as you've got enough virtue and enough resources to pay for a new town, what you do is you go to an empty space in your waste grounds, and on the top right there's a function for create feudum, so click that. And then the first thing you want to do is add tiles, so we're going to add the forest, the grassland, the other grassland and the sea. And then you need to choose a name. You can just pick one randomly, or you can select it yourself. And the last thing you need to do is set the manor, which is basically the home town for this feudum. Ideally you would just pick that first, that's what I've done. So the first one is at the top, so we're going to click this button here to designate this tile as the manor, so click that. You can use castles and you can use ecclesiastical fiefs, but generally you'll want a town, a settlement, because this will generate enough population to work the ground. And you can build the other two as you need later on. As this is our third expansion, it's going to cost us 11,000 gold and 7,000 virtue. Now in this game we've got quite a big stockpile, but when you first start that'll be quite tricky to gain. Watch the previous video to see how you can do that. Click confirm and send it to the server. Okay, in the meantime our unit should have moved. Yeah, so we're going to keep exploring, so click the unit. Move company, we're going to move north. Click confirm, click send commands. Our other units are ready, so what we're going to do is click Blue Harbour, the town, click manage units, shift click both units, click transfer and move them out of the town, confirm and send command. Okay, so we go back to our third expansion. It's going to take 11 turns because we could afford it straight away. And you can see the drop in virtue here designated by these 3 arrows, the wood and the gold. So if you were to hover over them, it will tell you that you just spent 186. So the turn's just going to tick over, and the unit's going to move. Okay, so we've moved. Just going to keep doing this so we can find a good spot to expand to later on, and just to basically scout the map so we've got a better understanding of where we are. Like a Blue Harbour, these units are now out of the garrison, so we're going to select them. We're going to use a special stance called Recon Stance, which increases line of sight but it reduces the combat effectiveness and the movement. We're also going to avoid stronger armies, and you can do that on this encounter strategies menu. So the bottom one is when you are outnumbered, the middle one is when you're evenly matched, and the top one is when you outnumber the enemy. So at the top one we're going to do engage, and the bottom two we're going to do disengage to try and avoid that. We're also going to increase our withdrawal from units statistic to 60%. Okay, we're going to move the units to the left. And you have to keep in mind that this game is currently online all the time, and anything that you do is an interaction with another player. There's no AI, there's no single player. So we're just going to keep exploring with these units over here. We've just hit winter, actually with the end of winter, but in winter movement and attrition both have a massive impact on units out in the field, especially if they're not in your territory. So we'll be able to see that on this unit over here. They're slowly starting to lose morale. This unit not so much. Still near the home counties. Okay, we're going to place a long-standing garrison into Blue Harbour, just that we've got a bit of protection from raiders. And we do that with the rally troops. We're going to scroll all the way down to our professional squads. You can see this with the coins rather than the flag. So we're going to put our spearmen in there to add a bit of defence, and the slinger to add a bit of range defence. As you can see, there's a massive cost difference compared to levies, but the contracts are longer, which means that you get better value for money over the turn time, and they also don't disappear at the end of the contract as long as you just pay the maintenance again. So this is going to be the cost for this army every 180 turns. 145 food, 100 timber, 75 iron, 340 gold, and 105 virtue. We're going to click confirm and send it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click the town again until we go back to the unit card. And I'm going to set the tactics for the garrison. So in the top right, tactical settings, we don't want the normal stance. So what we're going to do is we are going to do reinforced patrols. I'm going to set the garrison to aggressive, but with a high retreat, so that they don't die in battle. Click confirm and click OK. Now when those units are generated, they will automatically join the garrison with those settings. Oh, hang on. We seem to have bumped into somebody. An aggressive somebody. So on the left is the unit cards for the battle. So we click this icon where the fire and flames are. We can see that heraldry for the unit we bumped into and our own heraldry. So on the left is their company, on the right is ours, and on the bottom middle is the flashcards for the tactics. So we have combatants, ranged and skirmishers, and if we click this report we'll be able to see how the battle's going. Click play. So blue is skirmishing phase, green is ranged phase, and red is the combat phase. We're a little bit outmatched, so we can see there that we've run into a light infantry and a bowman, but they are using hired mercenaries and we only have levies, and typically levies are not as strong as hired mercenaries. Okay, so we need to deal with this because we want to expand into this region later on. So we've got some levies back at the base, but they're not going to be strong enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold here until we can bring our mercenaries from hometown. So you can see here we've got some tribesmen who are skirmishers who will be good against the archers, and we've also got spearmen who will be good against enemy combatants. So click the town, click manage units, select all of them with a shift click, click transfer, and because this army is in our territory, you can select that and move straight into our army. Really good tip for later on. So now our army is all of a sudden 28. So we're going to move up to the north and deal with these guys. And these skirmishes are going to really help us with this. Okay, so if we're going into battle, we want to make sure that we're always offensive. And we're going to use the offensive stance because this will give us an advantage when we attack. We're also going to reduce our withdraw from battle threshold because we want to win even if it costs us our units, rather than disengaging. Click confirm, click OK. So we can see the battle report here. It looks like they're going to take out our last combatant. We can see our third feudum is about to go live. One more turn and we'll be able to develop this and exploit the resources. Hold left click to get rid of the flashcards so you can see the map better. You can also zoom out with the mouse wheel. You can see that we can't have line of sight on this section now. And it probably means that those units that we engage with in the woods, we're going to have to check that out. We also want to think about replenishing our garrison while it's away, trying to deal with the raiders. So click hometown, click rally troops, and we're just going to post 2 town guards. Winter is a good time to increase the food ration, so we're going to go to Blue Harbour Town, click Feudum rules on the right when you've got your mana selected, and then change from poor to full. And we can also increase the taxes actually, because they don't mind that if they've got better rations. Click confirm and send to the server. Okay, now that we're in the combat stance, we've got a little bit more combat power, but winter's really slowing us down. It's also, as you can see, starting to have a real effect on our morale. So we hover over the unit, it will show you unit state. So that's 33 health and 56 out of 70 morale, which affects our stamina overall. So this unit currently has got 6% attrition, now 7%. Better units tend to resist morale damage easier than say levies, so militia generally don't have a strong morale. They also don't regenerate it as quickly. Okay, our third feudum is ready. A good tip when you're first taking over the feudum is to select an empty tile, go to construct improvements and build yourself a second hamlet. It's quite cheap, really quick, and what this effectively does is it increases your starting income for this feudum, and it also increases the max population, which is a really strong way to start a new expansion. Because we've got a forest, we've already got lumberjack placements, and if you click that again, you'll be able to see that we're currently using 6 out of 35. As the population grows, these slots will fill up naturally. You won't need to do anything to increase that, they'll just naturally go to work there. Which is a bit different from a farm or a mine, because you've actually got to build those. And that's what we're going to build next. So we're going to click this empty hex, go to the right, construct improvement, scroll down to farmland and click confirm. Both of these first 2 improvements are really cheap, and they're a good way to just generate resources to help you build out that feudum. The last thing we want to do is claim another forest next to our village. So click the forest, go to the right, click lay claim, and then just click back on to the feudum that you want that forest to join onto. It's going to cost us 100 food and 125 virtue. This is decreased from earlier because we no longer have so many waste grounds, so the cost has been reduced. It does go up depending on how big the feudum is, so because this is a 5 tile feudum, that's why the virtue is 125, not 50. Click claim, and then in 4 turns that forest will be added to this feudum. We still haven't found those raiders. Let's have a look in the woods. You can see some stats here that we're going to explain in the next video. Tile blocking and raiding efficiency. We've also got maneuverability, area of control, and the action points, but we'll explain them more in depth when we need to on the next video. It appears our friends have gone missing. Let's have a look. we're just going to take this Garrison out to put on patrol because I can't seem to find those units. Ah, there they are. Okay, let's see if we can engage. We unfortunately can't see what stance they're using. Sorry, we can see the stance, we can't see what tactics they're using. So we're just going to approach them and hope that we get the initiative roll. If not, we've got more units than them, so we'll see how that pans out. Here we go. So initially, we're looking at 28 versus 15. We did get the attack roll, so we'll attack them. So we click the battle log, and we'll be able to see how the battle plays out. But it's careful to note that they got a 20% defender bonus because they were in the forest. Let's see how that helped them. So skirmisher phase. So we have 2 skirmishers and they don't have any. We've got 1 archer, but they've got a defensive archer. We've got 2 combatants and they've only got 1. So it's going to take another turn at least to resolve this combat. Pretty even though we have more units, probably because they had a defensive position. So we hover over the heraldry, you can see that we're using 2 skirmishers, 1 range, 2 combatants, and they're using no skirmishers, 1 range, 1 combatant, but they do have the defensive position with a 20% bonus to defense. So we're sort of relying on the skirmishers doing enough damage in the first few attack phases to win this combat. If this unit can reach the forest, they will assist. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click the forest, hopefully they'll engage and reinforce the army that's already in there. We are slowly winning. So on this card on the left there's a little icon on the bottom, show tick starting state and show tick ending state so we can see when it started. We had 45% fatigue and they had 50%, and if we click it, we had 48 and they had 62, so we're slowly winning it. This new command to be a good addition. Okay, so after that, they've encamped, we've encamped, we have one fresh unit who we're going to use to chase down this unit. So we click our unit, click move company, and click the target. These guys should technically be able to come out of encampment. Let's see. 40%. Okay. So we need to recover 4%. And then they'll become active again. Whereas these guys need to recover 32%. So more than likely we're going to be able to run these guys down. Okay, so the fresh units are engaged. You can see this play out. Spearmen have got good armour values and they have a defensive bonus against melee. And there we go, we finished them up. And that's the end of the basic combat guide. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.